don't have right here. Is what it is? Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm working. Yeah. Yeah. Do what you can. Let me know. The modem. I mean, ideally inside the shop, but if you right there, you know,
And Mario, I think we're live.
sounds good. Yep, that'll work. Thank you. All right, guys. Sorry about that, man. Hey, man, you guys are with Mario and the MudBox, and we got the LATICRETE guys, and we'll kick it off right away with Ron. I'm sure everybody knows you, but go ahead and introduce yourself and give us a little backstory to your life in this industry, and then we'll pass it off to your partner.
Let's see. My name is Ron Nash. I'm the president and chief operating officer of LATICRETE International. I have started making bad decisions 18 years ago. No, I've been with LATICRETE for let's see, about 17 years or so. So I had every job in the sales organization all the way up to what I do now. This is going to be my second mud event. Mario, I hope you're still around. My goodness. Mario has turned into a rolling spinner. I'll take over.
Okay, Ron, you're on.
Kevin, tell me about yourself. How did you get with LATICRETE?
Yes, sir. So I've been with LATICRETE now. I'm going on my 5th year this year. LATICRETE's been an amazing company to work for. Incredible products. We just keep coming up with new products every year. I was with Bedrosians for 3 years. Worked with selling LATICRETE through that company. And then this position came available, and I applied for it, and I was able to get the position. And I've loved every minute of it. It's been a great 5-year run so far. So look forward to at least 10 more.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
cool. So we've got some other people that are going to go to Mud too. They're obviously not on this call, but we're going to have some other leadership in Mud, and we're going to have a bunch of other sales reps, guys who have been installers before. We got some people who have done a lot of mud installations, those kind of things. That'll be very helpful.
We have a new rep that's in town. We had one that retired on us here just recently, so we now have, his name's Ron McDermott. He lives in Kennewick, Washington. He's my new partner for the whole territory that we cover, and good guy, intelligent. He wants to get in and work hard, so it'll be fun to bring him up there and get him kind of baptized into the mud event. So
cool. And what is your guys' territory up there?
So we cover Utah, Idaho, Montana, and Eastern Washington. So it's a lot of drive time, right, Ron? I mean, you've been there, done that.
That was my old territory back in the day. Utah. I covered Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, and Eastern Washington.
Wow.
Back in the day. That was fun. Yeah, I loved it.
That's a huge territory.
It's huge, but it's like the Africa of the United States. You know, you got all the cool fly fishing mountains. You've got all the, all those little mountain towns are awesome. And anybody who's never really explored Montana, that is an incredible state. Montana, Idaho's got some really cool parts too. That's my favorite part. One of my favorite parts of the country. Now I've been around the block a couple times, but back then we had a lot of fun. That's for sure.
Yeah, I haven't been around very many places in my life, but I will admit that Idaho, the little bit of Idaho I've seen, that is beautiful.
Yeah, northern Idaho, it's absolutely taken off. I mean, you know, you got that northern part up there that's just absolutely booming and beautiful, absolutely gorgeous up there.
Yeah, Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah.
That place is just exploded. It's exploded. Too much, actually. Too much, in my opinion. I liked it when it was a smaller mountain town, but it's kind of going crazy. But yeah. So Mario, how's business?
No, it's a lot of business up there.
Oh, a lot of business. Yeah, it's a lot of business actually. Yeah, and high end stuff. They're doing some really nice work up there. lot of traveling contractors have come around. There's a lot of contractors who have kind of sprung up there and have made really nice businesses in those towns. Really nice businesses. Boise is just flipping crazy. I mean, it's one of the fastest growing cities in America. So there's just work, so much work.
Every time I talk to guys, like I went up to Sacramento to do that competition with Joe and Isaac Ostrom. And, you know, I was meeting guys there, shaking their hands. Oh, hey, where's the mud event going to be at? And like, oh, it's in Idaho. I'm thinking about moving to Idaho. No,
Yeah.
I just keep hearing it, man. Every time I talk to guys, really, like they're considering moving that way.
Yeah. And you know what? And I live in a state that borders Idaho. You know, I go up there and hunt for pheasant and stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you, Idaho is kind of like a little hidden gem. They've got everything. The Tetons are really close. Outdoor activities galore. You know, it's beautiful. People are laid back and cool. Economy's really doing well. It's hard to not like it. I'll tell you, it really is. You know, the only thing that I could ever say is that, you know, it's just growing really fast. And that's always, you know, a challenge when things grow really fast. You got to get infrastructure up speed, and there's some other investment that needs to be made. And they are making them, but it's going to be a little while. And then where we're going in Idaho for this event is a great little town too. Great little town. You know, and really nice of Mike to help us, you know, set up there and kind of, you know, take over his whole building and parking lot and everything like that. It winds up being
the whole thing, right?
It's totally cool that he's doing this. It really is, because these events take a lot of work. I mean, there are a lot of work personally. Whoever's going to host it's got a lot of things that they've got to coordinate. The food, all of the other, you know, and we got, you know, you guys got sponsors, and you know they all need to get the love and stuff like that. So it's a challenge. It really is a challenge. But for us, it's a great opportunity to see people who, you know, I have this sign on my desk in my office at work in Connecticut, and, you know, and it says it's the doers and the makers of things. And mud for me is my direct connection to the doers and the makers of things, the people that, you know, that are getting it done. And I learn a lot. So I'm really looking forward to hanging out with everybody who shows up, hearing their stories, sharing some stories, I hope, and learning from them. So I don't know that you'll have a lot of senior executives come from manufacturers to these kinds of events, but for me, it's really a gift. It's a way that I can, you know, learn the language of the people that I'm trying to serve, and, you know,
Right.
and really understand like the feedback directly without having a rep in between, or without having, you know, we have a communication system, of course, but, you know, I like to hear from the actual users. What can we do better? What do we suck at? What are we great at? You know, it keeps us humble and makes us understand that we're always going to be learning. We're always going to be moving forward, and seeing the people that are actually doing the thing. It's like going to college. It's like going to college if you listen.
Yeah.
If you listen.
Yeah. I mean, and like what you're saying, you know, you showing up, it really does speak volumes, you know, for your guys' company. That, you know, from the very top, the interest in us, you know, because that's something that, at least on our side, you know, we you know, oh, those are the corporations and this and that, and they just want us to stop doing mud and this and that, and you know, we work, you know, we pride ourselves on not being dependent for systems to the, you know, to corporations. Not that anybody doesn't use them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like the mentality, you know what I mean? And I know that when you showed up, I mean, just your participation with us in the groups,
Yeah.
you know, it elevates you guys to another level, because it's one thing when you can put your face on the rep, but
Sure.
to us, you are LATICRETE.
No,
You know what I
well,
mean? And
I'm certainly
that-
not LATICRETE.
right. No, I get it. No, I get it. That's right. Yeah, I get it. But you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You're the
Yeah.
for us, you're the face next to the logo. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's like you're never gonna meet the guy making your work trucks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're never
Well,
gonna meet the guys, doing that. The guy, and I mean the guys in charge.
yeah,
So it's
well,
like meeting the guy who's in charge of producing our thin sets and our grouts and waterproofers and things like that. It really is an honor for us to
Yeah.
receive you.
Mario,
well,
last year was my first year there as well as Ron's.
mhm.
And for me to watch he jumped in and he grabbed a hoe and mixed mud over and over. And he put mud up. I'm like, wow, this guy, I mean, here's the president of our
Not
company.
good. Nobody's gonna have to worry about me starting a company and taking their work. No one. So nobody. I am not a threat.
But it was awesome to see that, like you're talking. I mean, it was great to see that participation from, the individual that's, the head of your company right now. And it was incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Yeah,
great.
it really it's like that. Like you said, what do you say? It's being a leader rather than being a boss. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yes.
And I like that a lot.
Well, I appreciate that. My whole postgraduate study is in leadership, and one of the things that I want to be known for is authentic. I want to be authentic. I want people to know when you're speaking to me, not a corporate head or something like that. And for me, for this particular thing, it's a great opportunity because I'm watching things that you guys might not know, and I'll totally show my cards. I'm watching people as they approach our bag. We're redesigning our bags right now. We want to make them better, right? So I'm watching them, how they're opening. Do they open right? What's going on here? What do people struggle with that we might be able to do better? I'm listening as much as possible to, guys were saying, I like my mud with a little bit more lime in it. I like my mud with a little bit more, I like it a little on the dry side. I like it a little on the sandy side. So for me, think about how much data that is. I go back to these meetings with product development guys and they say, hey, we just made this new fancy mud. And I say, that's great. You guys think it's awesome. And I'm sure it is awesome, but I'll believe it's awesome when somebody in the field gets their hands on it, who's been doing this for 20 or 30 years, and they say it's awesome. If they say it's awesome, I'm there. This is good. This is one of the reasons why we're bringing a ton of different products for everybody to play with. We've got everything from, our latest technology and adhesives like titanium and those kind of things we're bringing. We're going to bring some topical waterproofing, next level Hydroban XP. We're going to be bringing some of that stuff. We're bringing some super muds, some 3701 fortified mortar bed for that's lightweight, silica free stuff. We're going to let people play with that. We got a bunch of that we're going to bring. So guys will be able to play with some stuff that, we make in the factory, understanding and completely respecting the fact that a lot of people will chop their own, make their own stuff. That's the way it's been. And guys, that's been the way it's been since way before LATICRETE was around. I was at an art museum a couple weeks ago, actually, where they had bits of the gates of Macedonia that had tile on them. Okay. This has been around for a long time. So technology is one thing, and technology is great. That's what our job is. It's technology, but we have to understand too that we have a place in the world, and that's my spot is I want Kevin and my team when they go there to not just be helpful, because obviously our goal is to be helpful, but I also want them to listen. Like what are we not learning? What should we be doing next that would make a big difference? We're going to bring everything from 209, our basic product, which has a great place in the world. Everybody who wants to, try that out, they'll be able to try that out. And then we're going to bring some stuff with some technology in it. And we'll talk about why you might want to use this technology, where and when, understanding that we're not going to sell every single shower with 3701 fortified mortar bed. That's unrealistic and also unnecessary. I'll take all your money, but it's not necessary when a lot of this stuff can be done with 209. A lot of it can be done with mud that you guys make yourself that might, and then how do you use topicals on top of it? What would you want to do? And why is that a good idea? Now we start talking about the philosophy of mud, which I think is very interesting. I think that topic's really interesting. And by the way, it's different in every part of the country. You know, I'm interested in mud kind of moving around, you know, so we do it in Idaho, you know, maybe we need a back east mud. Maybe we need a, you know, a northeast mud. Maybe we need to have a mud event in Texas, because in every part of the country, there's little tiny differences. And those differences, I think, are really interesting, for sure.
Right. I know that there's guys, little pockets here and there of guys that still do mud work, you know, because this industry is a lot bigger than Facebook.
Oh yeah, a lot of yes.
You know, so I you know, but you know, as far as meeting the guys, you know, it's I've met a lot more from around the country since we did move to Idaho.
Mhm.
You know, because I had guys, mud guys, hitting us up, and they were like, "Oh, I thought this was like a California only thing." I said, no, man,
Yeah.
like, no, we're all mud guys, you know, and it is fun to hear, you know, about the way, like, we got a dude in our group. His name is Luke Stockton, and he uses masonry mortar mix.
Okay.
You know, we basically make an S mortar, you know, by hand.
Sure.
And he uses an M mortar. So his mud is more like grout,
Yep.
you know, rather than and I can't believe he can actually float that on a wall.
So this is the interesting part for me, is that
Right.
you have all these different roads that people are trying to do a very similar thing. And
Right.
where we get the most criticism is that we produce a product like 209, and I have people that would take a bag of 209 and think this is just the ultimate, this is the best, I love this stuff. And then I hand it to just another guy, just like same batch, same everything, to another guy that tries it from a different way, and he'll go, this stuff is terrible. This is the worst, you know, mud I've ever used in my whole life. You know, and so this particular segment of our business is very, very finicky. It's really finicky.
Right.
And I don't think that we're ever going to make one product that's going to just satisfy all units. I just don't believe that that's possible.
No.
And so with us, I always say I like installers, my friends that are installers that would listen to me if I was influential at all. I would tell them, I want you to be a well-rounded mechanic. I want you to be able to understand the language of the products that you select. Okay. And what I mean by that is, if you're a LATICRETE guy and you use a lot of LATICRETE stuff, great. Understand our language. Our language is going to be just a little different than the language that maybe my friends over Italian companies might be doing and German companies might be doing. You know, our language is going to be a little different. And really honestly, I want you to learn all of them, because I think then that way, as your career progresses, you are ready for whatever comes your way. You're ready for whatever comes your way. And if you happen to have a builder that you're working for sometime and he supplies all the materials and, you know, you just got to show up and do the gig, sometimes that happens. I want you to just be able to hit the ground running and make it successful. If you're running your own shop and you're selecting materials, I want you to know how to select materials. That's important, you know, because Kevin's a hell of a sales guy. He might call on you one day and just brainwash you into thinking my stuff is the best. Okay. If he's good, he will. But my point is how do you know? How do you really know? And you really don't know until you have an opportunity to try it, taste things, figure out what your system's going to be. And I think that that's the democratization of mud. So I think one of the things that draws people to the mud culture, the mud event, is that there have been, you know, there have been charlatans in the industry. There have been guys who will sell through fear. Well, either you buy this product or you're going to have failures. You're just going to have a ton of failures. And then people kind of go down that road, and then they have to try something different one time, and they go, wait, this worked as well. This isn't a fail. You know, this guy wasn't being honest, you know, and I would much rather people approach products very much like they would their career. I want people to know the language. I want them to know the language of LATICRETE. I like to teach you that language. I like them to know the language of our competitors. That way You're ready when you're ready. By the way, that also includes the F word. That also includes foam. Also includes foam. I want people to understand it's got a place. There is a place. There definitely is a place. You take two 2-inch pieces of hydroband board, laminate those things together, and you make a pony wall in 10 minutes. You just made yourself money. That's it. That's it. And so my job is, how do you get to revenue the most effective way? That's the big thing, because without revenue, we all go out of business and we don't have tile installers, and the tile as an art starts to suffer.
Right.
So we should be working to enable you guys making the art you do.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because that's something that hybrid systems. You know what I mean? We're real big on I use have my sending my guys out and foam niches, foam seats, like say mortared walls, foam curves if it's if it's right for the time, and so we do a lot of different like you said, blended methods. You know what I mean? Like we're using multiple types of substrates in the shower, and when I talk to different reps from company to company, some yes, yeah, oh yeah, it'll work like that. This is how you're gonna do it. This and that. I suggest you try this. Some no way, no way. Let's say
Sure.
you can't do that. It's not gonna happen. No warranty and this and that, and
Yep.
and that's not really what you want to hear as an installer on the ground, because you got to, especially in this COVID time, materials are here, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's
Like,
true. Getting
I'm
materials.
not, I'm not calling you for, your opinion or this and that. Like the shit's here in the room right now, and I'm one way or another, I'm putting it on the wall. You know what I mean? I'm asking you for guidance with your product. I know it's a tricky situation, but I got to do it.
Yeah.
And how are we going to make it work?
The one thing that's cool about LATICRETE is we make it all. We you can blend and mix all kinds of different systems with us. And what I found is, if let's say, for example, let's say I only sold foam. That was all I had to offer you. That's it. Of course, what are we going to push first? We're only going to push foam systems. That's all we are. If that was what my company was about, that's what I would be paying guys like Kevin to go out there and tell that message. But the difference thing about LATICRETE is we were installer built. Our founder, our founder was in the trades. He knew what was going on there. But back in the day, it was all mud. That's how it started. The first thin sets were not made because it was a new product that we wanted to go out and just add another product to an adhesive line. There was no adhesives. It was all thick set mud systems back in the day. Wet set, totally different. So being from those types of lineages makes you so that, first of all, our product line is quite broad, so you have a lot of answers for a lot of different challenges, which is good. And then the second thing is, it should make us a lot more flexible. Now, let's talk about warranty, because I think that's an interesting conversation. I really do. Look, I always tell people it depends on the risk. I want everybody to start looking at the jobs as each job that you go on is this risk something I'm willing to take solo, all by myself, or is this risk something that's going to be much larger that I might want to professionalize that risk, or I might want to take it to the next level? Okay, so I'll give you a couple examples. Did you know that SoFi Stadium, where the Super Bowl was played, has hundreds of thousands of square feet of mud in it on the floor? Okay. Right. It's all the concourse, all the corridors where there are tile, and the tile work is beautiful. It was done by my friends at Premier Tile in LA. So all that floor work was done mud set. Okay. If you're going to take on hundreds of thousands of square feet of liability, and you've got thousands of different tile types, and you've got tons of different substrates, you're sticking on everything from pour in place concrete to foam to mud to geez, I think we had almost everything, to plywood, to, I mean, we had all kinds of different substrates. You've got all of that variability on your job. My suggestion to you is to partner with a manufacturer. That's
Absolutely.
that's a good bit of risk management. If for nothing else, you're going to make sure that you get help when you need it. If you're ordering that, I think that job had like 10 truckloads going to it a day at one point. I mean, you can't do that without having a good partnership with the people who are supplying you. All right. And that makes perfect sense. Now, let's say I'm a residential contractor and I do 3 or 4 showers a month. And, my risk starts to become much different. The risk starts to become much different. Now, in that particular situation, I might be tolerant to not having systems warranties. I might be tolerant to that. But I will say this, it also can be used as a selling tool. It can be used as a way that you can push to the customer that you say, hey, look, I do systems approach and we use one manufacturer for this whole stuff. And if anything goes wrong, I've got my friend Kevin, who's my rep. And if something goes wrong, he's going to be there and he's going to get my back. I use LATICRETE products. They stand behind their stuff. That also can be a differentiator for someone who might be getting bid against from a bunch of different people. All right.
Correct. You're 100% right about that. John DeCina is great at that with me. You know, when I'm doing showers, and some of these showers, especially my stone showers,
Right.
I'll go through and I'll meet up with him, and he's giving me all the packets for. Oh, it's a lot. We're trying to get a transmission repaired, and they want $5,000 for an 07 F250. I know. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
American dollars? That's a lot of money. I remember when they were $2,500.
Yeah, no kidding. So John will give me the printout
right
of the method, right? It shows the studs, the wire, the mud, the hydraband down to here, type of drain. It's all legit. It's all right out of the book. It's just been replaced with your guys' products in the appropriate areas. And then I send you guys' warranty sheet with it and all of that, and kind of a write-up of what, the schedule is going to be and how we're going to do it. I send that in, and that's almost like an automatic. That's almost an automatic. Totally.
And by the way, it does not preclude the use of mud in any single way. We're going to, especially on our custom warranties, we have ways that you can get literally a custom warranty. It has the job name, it has the customer name, it has everything that you're going to be using on it. It's on LATICRETE's letterhead. These are all things that we do, but the bigger part of this is that you met with John. John's a great guy, by the way. John Cena's a great guy. John, if you're out there, love you, brother. Glad you're doing well. So you got John and guys like Kevin. This is where the partnership is very important.
Absolutely.
And the one thing I will say is when you're chopping your own mud, if you're only making mud out of your own stuff, you don't have the benefit of that partnership. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean that we don't love you, and it doesn't mean that we wouldn't support you. Of course we would. Heck, I'll give you formulas. If you want to know how many scoops of this do they use in the East, I'd be more than happy to help. I mean, we know the products. The one thing I also will say, the other advantage of buying a pre-manufactured product is that we do screen it. We do know that it's quality control checked. We do know that, there's not like cat crap in it or whatever, I've heard all kinds of crazy stories, and you have the benefit of taking that bag. Like if you don't use the bag, you can take the bag to the next job. So there are some benefits there. But beyond that, we understand how this world works, and I'm learning more and more. And one of the things about going to the Mud event is that we do have the ability to even listen deeper and watch how different styles are done. I just watched this competition that just went down, which is very interesting and fun. I think it was done in the manner of fun. I think that's the important part. Is everybody back up. We're having fun here. This is fun. We're not making any, we're having fun still. And I did look like they had a lot of fun doing it. I don't necessarily know that either one of those guys would warranty that work, if you know what I'm saying. They were trying to get it done and be fast. So it's important that we understand this is how we all work.
Are you talking about the one up in Sacramento that was on Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was Joe's helper.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I was helping Joe. Me
Did a
and Mike
great job.
Simonelli were. Yeah, we
Did-
tried, and
Did a
we're
great job.
moving forward. Yeah, we're moving forward with that too. There's a place you guys do business with. It's called Courtepassi Tile and Stone. They're in
Yes.
Sacramento, California. Yeah, so
Yep.
we're gonna go there in October
Cool.
to their pig cook-off, and we're gonna set up 8 modules. We're gonna have 8 3-man teams, and
Sweet.
they're gonna do that. They're gonna do it in the South too. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a Southern California competition and a Northern California competition, and once we break it down to a champion in the North and champion in the South, Mud 6 will be the Mudder Bowl.
Oh, awesome. I love it. I love it.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Well, let me supply some. Well, I guess I only have pre-manufactured stuff. Do they have to mix everything? What are the rules? What are
No,
the
we
rules?
we use the Dynacrete material there.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay, good. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, we use the Dynacrete material there. It was, because
Pre-manufactured.
yeah, well, it was done at a shop, and like you say, we're just having fun, and
Sure.
that mortar mix is real common up where we're at,
Yep.
and so for right now, that's what we did. I don't know what the guys will want to do. I know the guys are all communicating with each other right now because we got to find a way to, we do it. The guys in Northern California and the guys in Southern California, it's 2 completely different methods.
Yep.
And so for us to be able to, we're good with competing with ourselves up here, but we got to figure out what is going to be a good common ground for when the North guy and the South guy go at it with each other.
Yeah. Well, I learned a lot by watching those things. I think does look like it's a lot of fun. Any way we can help, let us know. You guys need some materials, whatever, give me a call, tap us in. More than happy to help those things too. Anything to make our trade a lot more fun, I'm all about.
Right.
Heaven
yeah,
forbid
absolutely.
we have a good time doing this.
Exactly.
I mean, heaven forbid.
And that's us. And that's us up here. That's us here, man. Like, I don't know because I've never worked in other areas doing this. I just know that, like, here with Mud, like, I just met Brad Denny for the first
Yeah.
time in Vegas.
Stud.
And we'd sing hi, we'd said hi and waved at each other. And horrible. We got on the phone, and he goes, "Man, I'm a Mud guy." What? He says, "Yeah, I'm a Mud guy." So he
Cool.
starts telling me all this stuff, and we're laughing. Before you know it, we're on the phone for an hour and a half. And I was like, "Man, we got to get off the phone, dude." Like,
Yeah.
and it was like that when I did my interview with him, and because we've done the same trade and we do the same things, and I don't know if it's different or not. He feels like it is. I felt like it was. Like we get like at the shop. We drink and over there having the fun at our mud event. You drink, you smoke, and having fun and this and that. Hey, let's flow some mud. Hey, and it's like we do it every. A lot of us do it 7 days a week. And if guy calls you after work and, hey man, I need help doing this, and you're like, okay, yeah, cool, man, and we'll all go hang out and float and do this, and it's more than just a job to us,
Yep. That seems to be
It's
the
more than
universal
just a
truth.
job.
That seems to be the universal truth. Everywhere I go and I meet tile setters from all different walks of life, and I've never met one that treats it just like a regular job. Never met one.
Right. Right.
Not one that's, by the way, not one that stayed in the trade. I've met a lot that have kind of come in for a paycheck and left, but I've never met one that once you're in love with this crazy industry, you're kind of screwed. You can't really do anything else. You're in it. Now it's like getting stuck in the mud.
Yeah, you're stuck. That's for sure.
You're stuck.
I think it's for me it's such a primitive trade. Where it's just sand, cement. Sometimes just sand. I used to do a lot of cobblestone here in California too. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
a lot of times we're just using sand. That's it. And so it's I like that. You know what I mean? I like seeing, like you were saying, about like old Italian stuff. I watched this documentary about Rome, and they were showing like how the mortar that they used was so advanced, and you could see where the rocks themselves had deteriorated over the thousands of years, and the mortar's still there.
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking to myself, like here in California, we were constantly repaving because our concrete is constantly degrading, you know, and these guys were making a mix that lasted thousands of years, longer than
Listen,
the damn rocks.
yeah, I'm trying to find, I got my phone up right now. I'm trying to find this. I did take a picture of it, of course. And of course, it's like everything, you know, you take so many pictures, you got like a million different things on my phone. I'm going to give my phone a couple seconds to kind of catch up with what I'm searching for. But if I can find it, I'll show it to you. I literally took pictures. Like I said, Gates of Macedonia, man. This has been around. The industry that you're in right now, the industry that you've been around right now, back in the day when we basically started making floors, meaning moving from dirt to what we have now, you know, it's baked clays, baked stones, cut stones, sometimes just fractured stones. It's been around forever and ever and ever. And by the way, it'll be around forever and ever and ever. So what I like about mud is that we're helping people connect back into that, being a maker, an actual maker of the substrate again. And I think that that's so good for talent. And it's hard, man. I know. I was, like I said, I tried. I getting the hawk and the trowel to work correctly is an art, man. It is not something that, you know, I'm not terribly handy. I've built homes, you know, I'm not terribly unhandy, but I'm telling you, it would take some serious practice in order for me to start floating walls with efficiency, making so that we make $1 at the end of it. Otherwise, you know, I could make stuff in 4 weeks, but we'd never make any money. But, you know, I think that that's one of the cool things is that at the end of the day, what I found is our fat mud would be our 3701 light, 3701 light would be our fat mud. Sorry, I just answered that question. What I'm connecting with is that the people that are connected to this are typically better. I gotta be careful how I say this. Typically become better at other things in the trade. You follow me? Once you've learned how to manipulate that mortar, grouting is a piece of cake. That's the easy part. You know, troweling ridges is an easy part. You know what I'm saying? Once you're good with your hands and, you know, you're floating, you know, it is an accelerator to other skills. I guess that's my point.
Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You know what I mean? And that's the, you know, part of the mud event was to show guys, originally when we did the mud event, it was just for mud guys to hang out and drink beer.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And when guys were starting to post on here on the videos because they were learning, that's when everything changed for us. And it started turning into more of a thing of getting these guys here. And like, yes, we tease you and we say we're better and you're not tile setters and you're apprentice at best and this and that. And a lot of us feel that, you know, deep, you know, but at the same time, it's not something you can't do. You know, every year at the mud event, we get guys who can't keep it on the hawk to save their life. You know, we'll get other guys that'll grab it and instantaneously. It's like they get it. You know, it's just a mechanical motion, you know, and like you say, once you learn how to do that, you know, all of the other, it's like the base thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you guys are doing backflips and all of this crazy shit on your bike, you know what I mean? But you know, you can't ride it to the end of the block. You can go down a ramp and hit it and do all these big old fat backflips with your fancy bikes and all of this shit, but you know, nobody ever taught you how to pedal. You know, it's
now,
kind of that.
Having said that,
you know.
Yep. Having said that, there is something about the beauty of technology. And
Absolutely.
I will tell you that if I were to start a business, there'd be no way I'd be having people make niches, you know, and floating niches out of mud. There just wouldn't be. I wouldn't do it. I don't see that there's an mathematically efficient way to do that. When I can buy something that it can just go boom, pop it in, I'm done. And I know that it's sloped right and all these things are right. So that's where I think the knowledge of the old ways couples and marries really, really well with this explosion of technology. And that's why I think we all have a voice here. We all have a voice. And,
Absolutely.
there are foam boards that I want to tell you, you can do some cool, fast, purely waterproof, super flat, great work with. Of course, there are some times when I'm just like, hey man, we're going to do this radius into this or whatever. Man, you got to float that. You got to float that. There's no other way. And by the way, if you're bad at floating, this is going to suck for you because this is now level 10 floating. Whereas before, if you maybe would have cut your teeth on level 1 for a little while, you might be ready for it. And so I think it's really good that these conversations continue. And I think it's really good that communities are formed. I think that, the competition aspect of it, I think is just fun, whatever, just as long as it stays fun. But like I said, if I were to start a company with you and I were to say, hey, we're going to be doing this, I want fluency. I want my mechanics to get CTIs. I think CTI is a great program. I think it's a fantastic program. I think a lot of people say that, this is so easy. I could go blow that thing and knock that thing out. And I've watched people get ground to bits and the fail rate's super high. So then I watch people fail and I've watched them get back on the horse and then come back and pass it. And I've watched pride enter their work. And that is why you test. It has nothing to, it's always nice to have a certification. Don't misunderstand. But it really doesn't, it's not about the certification. It's about the pride of continuing to educate yourself, continuing to test yourself. Can I do this? Can I do this at a level that the industry would say that is right? And when that happens, I've watched some really cool things happen. I've watched careers kind of explode. I've watched people, just kind of were humming along, and then all of a sudden they push themselves. They take the CTI, maybe they get some ACT certification. Boom, they're up trying new things. They're trying to, they're installing with like maybe the super gauge, these large gauge porcelain tiles. They're doing some other things that they would not have thought about doing before. What I'm afraid of is that we got a lot of people in our industry that become stagnant, and stagnation is
the worst.
not good. It's not good.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards.
Exactly. Because that's what I tell guys here. I say, they go, oh man, why are you having all these manufacturers here and this and that? This is about mud and this is about this. I said, no, man, it's not. It's about, it's about the community. It's about, bettering yourself in the trade. There are 1,000 products I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Before I got on the Global Tile Posse, when it was, when Jason was first starting this thing with Dave, and I jumped in there and I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of things that kind of freaked me out, but there was equally as many things that was like, we don't have that here. And then I'm calling Lance. I said, hey, did you see that shit on GTP last night? Call that guy up. We got to get that stuff, man. Because you want to try it. I've ever seen all these like different topicals and different this, and different that, and like you said, the foam boards and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, man, I have never seen anything like any of this, and I would ask guys about it, and they're like, oh man, yeah, this stuff has been here for, like, I thought Schluter just showed up, like literally just showed up. I jumped on Facebook and I was like, hey, that orange shit, what is that? You know what I mean? Oh, it's from Germany. So you guys have it mailed from Germany? Like, no, it's Schluter. And I was like, no, Schluter's metals that you put on the end of your tile when you can't get quarter round. You're like, yeah, that's Schluter, but this is also Schluter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like LATICRETE. LATICRETE to me was a bag of powder.
Yep.
And it was like the most awful shit on earth. I used to hate my life showing up to commercial jobs, and there was these bags of powder and buckets, right? And you had to pour that shit. Oh man, you would throw your clothes away, throw your fucking trowels away. You already knew. Use that shit, and everything that it touches is ruined.
And by the way, everything that is under is probably still there too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
We don't make stuff. That's how. Yeah, it's true.
Guys are so stuck in their ways here. That that's literally how limited a lot of our views are to products and the availability of products.
I think that I agree that events like this hopefully open people's eyes to just more than just the product, but also to partnership, and that everybody has a role in this, right? I'm a manufacturer, right? I have a role. I can help you. Knowing
Right.
me cannot hurt you. It can't hurt you. Knowing who I am, knowing your rep, Kevin, if you happen to be local to this event, Kevin's your rep, by the way, you'll meet him there. So it's never bad to know those people. And networking is huge in business. It's huge. And you never know
absolutely.
what you're going to run across. You just don't.
Right. I've never talked to a rep in 20 years. Not one.
Yeah, that's not
Not
good.
not one. And then when I jumped on these, and me and my buddy Matt Taylor were tiling a patio, and we're tiling a patio, and we do patios assistant. And Matt was like, "Hey, we should do some some of that mat or something like that out here." He wanted to try it, right?
Sure.
So I called up Lance, and he's like, "Oh, I can do this, I can do that." And I just thought to myself, he's like, "I got this LATICRETE shit here. It's the only one he had." And he was like, I was like, "So what's the story with that?" He's like, "Oh, we got to call John. John will know." You know what I mean? So I called John. John didn't answer the phone, and I was under the gun because the contractor and the client were waiting for me inside to give him an answer. So I'm out there smoking my cigarette, and I thinking, okay, who else do I know that works with? Oh, Ron. I had no idea, you know what I mean, your title with the business. And I jumped on Messenger and I hit the phone, called. You answered the phone right away. I said, "Hey, I'm doing a job right now. I'm out here in Fresno, and you got this mat, this Stratamat." I said, "I got to do a patio. I got to do like a 1/2 inch lift, and then I got to put this mat down and put the travertine over it. And just before I even finished, you're going to use this. You're going to put down the 3701, and then you're going to put this on top of it. And you're going to put the Stratamat down, and boom, you apply tiles. Use that." I wrote it all down, went straight inside, told the client what I was going to do, called Lance, order this, done. And it was it's things like that. That's I tell guys all the time. I don't do business with LATICRETE. I don't do business with Ardex. I don't do business with Tudor. I do business with the guy. I do business with John. Right? I do business with John. I don't buy from LATICRETE. I buy from John.
Right.
And John is really good about making you feel that way. You know what I mean? And for me, the way I do business, it's really important for me to have that relationship with a guy, no matter what company he's with.
I couldn't agree more. Hey, Kevin, I want to bring Kevin in here because we do have an advantage. No, we do have an advantage. I think, and this will be interesting for this whole as a podcast here. I think that being a rep today is a disrespected position in our industry. I really do. And I think
Absolutely.
The reason is that there's been a lot of bad reps. There's been a lot of reps who are not good. And they are what I call knuckle draggers, and they drag down the industry. And I'm not going to name any names, but I'm very glad that I don't feel like I have any on my roster. But Kevin, what is it like to be a rep? Well, I mean, what do you think about this social media stuff? What do you think about these events from a rep's perspective?
I think it's extremely strong, Ron. I mean, to get, brand name recognition out there, to support everybody that's up there, to introduce new products, based on last year's experience with everybody up there, everybody was great. It was an amazing experience, to be honest with you. I mean, everybody networked, whether it be with us or other companies, we were able to meet the gentlemen, meet the new people, meet the guys that are coming into the industry, talking to them, supporting them, telling them what you'll be there for them. Just like Mario was talking about, you need to make a phone call to Ron. Ron will answer your phone every time. You need to call me. I'll answer every time. That's what we're here for. We're here to support. We're here to show you that we're here for the long haul. We're not here for just a period of time. We're on what, 66, Ron? Year 66? It was 65 last year.
60, yeah, 66. I think you're right.
So yeah. So I mean,
1956.
Yep. LATICRETE's it's a strong company. I mean, they're family owned and they are super supportive. You could contact, David Rothberg any time of the day and he'd answer your phone. He'd say he'd be mad if you told him you're sorry that, you called him. He's like, no, that's not what it's about. You call him if you need him. You call me if you need me. You call Ron if you need him. It's all about support. It's all about, introducing new technology. Like I said earlier, I mean, I'm extremely happy to be part of this family. It's a family company, and it's fun to watch and fun to grow. And we've had some pretty good years, the last few years, and we're going to continue to try to, do that. So, yeah, knock on wood. Thank you.
Knock on wood,
I
man.
tell guys all the time, man. You can meet your rep, you can see your rep, you can see him do his thing, you can do all these things, the coverings, the surfaces, but at a mud event, you can have a beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And actually get to know who he is as a person.
Yeah, that was
And learn that they were on 90% of these guys. You guys were on the ground, trialing the thin set, putting tiles down, just like we were, just like we do.
It was it was pretty laid back, and it was enjoyable to being laid back. It wasn't pressure, it wasn't stressed. You're able to jump in there and show your products, and like Ron did, he jumped in there and mixed mud, and I try to do the same. I'm still learning on that part of it, and that's what makes it fun to go up there and see you guys and watch these guys, and these guys are craftsmen. These guys
totally.
It's not just somebody new jumping in, throwing down we obviously offer foam pans, but to be able to do a shower pan and float walls and do everything they do, I mean, it was incredible to watch. I mean, it's a process, and it's work. I mean, these guys go to it.
Hard work.
It's hard work, and it's impressive. And I think we're just happy that we're able to be there and supply product so that you guys can give it a try and take a look at all of our new stuff. And I'm excited again to be there. It's only about a month away, but it's being a rep, Ron, back to you, is it's rewarding. I mean, it is. You get to meet a lot of new people and new faces, and you get to make friendships, out there, and you get to be able to show them that you're there for them when they need you and when you need them, because you're going to need them. You're going to have people calling you saying, "Hey, I need a shower pan done," and you can say, "Well, where are you at? Where are you located?" And we can contact the distributor and or a fabricator that we've made relationships with and say, "Hey, I have a customer for you." We're able to, give input. We're able to give referrals, and we're able to, help everybody. This is a network process. It's not just a, hey, I want to sell you some product, which we do, but at the end of the day, it's a whole process. And you, at the end of the day, you meet and you'll end up making some very, very good friends, through this process.
And by the way, you can tell a bad rep right away. Right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
If the guy is only interested in pushing product on you, dude, it's going to be a limited relationship. Period. There's no other way to put it. And Kevin's been to new rep training, man. When we give new rep training, the first thing we talk about is, look, we want lifetime relationships. We are here as long as Mario is installing. We want to be his friend all the way. We want to be invited to the retirement party. And that means sometimes that we have to take a haircut. Sometimes that happens. We try to do the right thing, make sure that our partners stay in business in the face of sometimes really tough situations. That's where the rubber meets the road. And I think that, by the way, I just don't think that's not just a LATICRETE value. I want to be clear. I don't think that's just a LATICRETE value. I think that's an industry value. And I would speak to any rep, who, regardless of who they work with, and I would say this is the kind of people we need from manufacturers. We need people who are willing to have our corporate values align with our customers' corporate values, so that we're leaving a legacy of excellence behind us that keeps our industry strong and moving forward. And that's why people are selecting us over plastic floors, or selecting us over some other alternative. This is what's going to keep us moving forward, because when people hire Mario, they're hiring an artist. They're hiring someone that will leave behind art in their house. And by the way, it's always been art ever since the very first ones. It's always been about beautification, leaving something that's functional, durable. It's going to last forever. I want you to get tired of my installation before it wears out, you know, and if you want to make a choice, it's at the customer's decision, not because it just doesn't work anymore. My house is a perfect example. I've got tile in my kitchen here. I've got stone on the walls. I've got, you know, backsplash that, you know, you want to see my work. I'm in my kitchen. See that backsplash? I did that. It sucks. I suck at this stuff. But my point is, it's going to be there until I get tired of it. I know, because I know what's behind it. And it gives me a sense of pride to be part of an industry like that. You know, so many industries that people work in are about making short-term stuff. You know, it's just short-term. It doesn't, you know, you're going to replace that carpet every 3 years. You know, you're going to replace it. You know, it's like the apartment complex. You know, they come through, they blow out the carpet, they put the new carpet in. It's terrible for the environment, by the way. These are the same people that are like really worried about the environment. No, you're not. You're not worried about the environment. If you were worried about the environment, you'd be installing tile everywhere.
Right.
You look at the basilicas. The basilicas around the world are made of stone, and those floors, they're going to be there until I die for sure.
I
You
think
can't get more environmentally friendly.
yeah.
You know, you know, and I think on that note, I'm going to wrap this up, because you are right. You know, being connected to these installers as a manufacturer is very important, because there are people don't realize when you go into their homes. Sometimes I feel like the general contractors don't even realize there is a tremendous amount of moving parts in our trade.
Totally.
Manufacturers, suppliers, the installers, the business owners. You know what I mean? You know, because a lot of times, you know, the business owner is not the one actually physically doing it. He has installers doing it. So you got that dynamic. You got the dynamic with the multiple suppliers, because sometimes you're using Madrosians, Dow, and Emser Tile all in the same house. You know what I mean? Then you got your, you know, whatever manufacturer of your product you're selecting to use on that project. And that's a lot. There's a lot of communication going on behind the scenes. And if any one of those components is not cohesive with the other, they won't be in that equation. So that's something that you know, you guys re-listen to this later. You know, listen to that last part, because it is very important.
Totally.
And, you know,
Mario, hey, listen, man, you're doing something cool. This mud event, it's cool. It's awesome. We need more people like yourself to get out there, make friends in the industry, and share the love. And that's what you're doing. You're sharing the love, and that's freaking awesome. I think it's great. It's leadership, man. You may not think it is, but it is. It's leadership. And I appreciate you doing it. I appreciate guys like Luke, you know, Luke Miller, putting his talent on the line and trying to help people, make people better, make people more profitable, give people opportunity. You know, I look at guys like Jason McDaniel. I mean, he does a lot of volunteering, man. He helps people out a lot. You said Bradford Denny. I mean, I could continue saying stuff about Bettiga, Jim Olson, Scott Carruthers.
I could do this. The list
I could do this.
Right.
Exactly. I could do this for an hour. But the point is that's what we're about. And I think it's cool that you're doing it. I'm glad to support. And I'm really humbled that I can come and play with you guys for at least a day. It'll be fun. All right.
Well, I appreciate you both, man. I really look forward to seeing you guys at Mud.
Thanks for your time, Mario and Ron.
See you later.
Thank you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.